so bad. Right, well, welcome everyone back to another episode of the Good Guys FPL podcast. Joe can't come with us today because
He can't come with us, guys. He can't be here.
He's on holiday. He's in like Windermere or something, or he's in the lakes. But we have been sent his draft team, so don't you worry. Because we're here to what we're here to do today is we're here to run through our revised drafts for our deadline, because the season starts like Friday and it's Wednesday now. So that's great.
Do we need to do a? Should I just come up with a tune rather than doing the countdown one again?
Yeah.
But no one's going to be able to hear to say the good guys.
Is this
That's
all
going to
like...
have to be you, Dan. This is all being recorded.
Yeah, the viewers aren't hearing all this, are they? Is this now getting cut out or something?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, they're hearing all this.
Wow.
We'll just go with it. Come on.
This is shambolic.
We go for complete roughness.
Yeah,
Just like our logo, we're rough around the edges.
Yeah. We're really bad, but we're bad on purpose. So I believe you can share your screen now, Baron. We should probably get on with it. There's viewers listening.
And get on with the drafts. But what about the sound? Do you want
to say something? Make a sound?
Yeah. Okay, and then you're gonna do Joe's part. You're gonna fill in his part.
Did he sing? Because he did sing. I can't really sing, but I'll try. Yeah, go on.
He didn't sing.
Yeah.
Boop, boop. All right, you cut me off. Okay, I'm going. Do.
Good guys, FPL.
Okay, rate that. I mean, to be honest, I actually didn't rate that, but you know what? We move.
I can't believe is
I can't. Joe still has a position here.
I can't believe that all this is going on the actual podcast. That's really this is really quite shit. But let's move on with it. Because viewers want to hear our cutting analysis, which we've got to deliver.
Okay, no, we can deliver analysis. Let's go to sharing the screen. Screen 2. Share. Alright, well, it is up. I'm also going to get up some notes I have here. Is there anything we want to talk about before we get into the actual drafts, Dan?
That's a good question. If we were a little more professional channel, we'd have probably had something prepared. They're just doing this on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, while I'm talking to you, I'm trying to get up the notes on my phone.
I don't really have any notes.
Well, BV has got his notes up here. I have Community Shield notes because obviously that was the big event.
Oh yeah, there was a game,
the last
of
one.
Course.
There was a game. The season is officially started. But not the FPL
yesterday,
season.
Cambridge beat Millwall yesterday. But anyway, that's irrelevant. I'm just looking at the matches. Trying to get it up.
Yeah, don't anger the Millwall fans. We don't want hate on our podcast.
Yeah, of course. There were,
So,
Liverpool beat Manchester City 3-1.
3-1, yeah.
Yeah, because Haaland didn't score. But apparently he had some chances too. He just kind of fluffed his lines or something.
Did you not see the highlights? He had a fat chance at the end. He had a fat chance. It was an open goal. He racked up an XG of 1.5.
Oh, wow. Wait.
Yeah.
His goal had an XG of 1.5, so he was expected to score 1.5 times an average from that shot.
Wait, what? No. He didn't score.
Yeah, but over the course of the game,
because I
thought you were saying his pen that chance had an XG of 1.5.
No. Yeah. There was a 150% chance that he scored that one shot. No. Over the game, he racked up
Yeah, I get
1.5 expected goals.
So why don't you think
But he actually scored 0.
Why don't you think he put it in the bread maker then?
To be honest, I mean, should I stop sharing screen and we can come back to actual conversation? I didn't rate how City didn't play him through enough. I feel like they were looking for him at times. There was times where KDB could have slotted the ball through and Haaland was making the runs,
Yeah.
But most of the time when he did make those runs, no one had their head up. No one was looking for him. They were just stuck in the City mindset of, oh, let's pass it to Bernardo and see if he can dribble. Let's pass it to Jack and see if he can dribble. Let's pass it to Mahrez and see what he can do. They just need to go route one at times.
How did Jack and Riyad do? The wingers.
Jack and Riyad. Riyad had a few shots on target. That's the most I can say about the lad. To be honest, I didn't really back his output. It was just typical Riyad. He can either just, just like float about and not do much, or he's getting the winner against PSG.
I'd love it in a press conference.
Yep, insightful analysis.
Pep was just like, that's typical Riyad. He either floats about or he does something. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, the game changed for City when they brought on Foden and Alvarez. Foden and Alvarez were quite good. Because actually I made some good notes here. I didn't like how Cancelo had to play left back, okay? Because obviously he's right-footed.
Yeah.
And Jack Grealish was playing left wing and he's also right-footed. Have I made that up? Don't know. Let's presume he's right-footed.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of my analysis is based on the fact that he's left-footed. So if you could Google that, so right-footed.
Oh yeah.
I think he is right-footed.
Well, we're looking it up now. See, without Joe, we don't have anyone to intermediate convo in the meantime. He is clearly stronger with his right foot.
I actually reckon Joe would know that.
So opponents try to show him onto his left side. Yeah, that's what it says. They can't read that properly.
Okay, lovely. Okay. Yep, alright, so he's right-footed, basically. So basically they had two wingers, because obviously Cancelo, he's barely a left-back, he's more of a wing-back. They had two wingers who were basically trying to do the exact same thing. Grealish was trying to cut in, or try and do an overlap, well, an inverted, basically. Yeah. And they were both trying to be inverted wingers rather than anyone going to byline, which just caused a lot of they were just, getting in each other's way and not really... They weren't bouncing off each other. They were trying to occupy the same spaces. And then on the other side, they had... Oh, man. What? Damn.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, but... It means I'm not going to be sniffing now. So.
Not even had... You couldn't even have muted yourself, for that brief moment where you did that.
Oh, that's how I mute myself.
You've now muted yourself. Oh, okay. There you go. Right. Yeah, well done. You've learned something.
Mistakes are made. Anyway, continue on, because they want to hear you.
Yep. And what happened with Mahrez? So, I mean, Kyle Walker's pretty shite. The fact that Man City aren't going to sign another wing-back is good and bad. I mean, actually, the window's not closed yet. It's bad because Kyle Walker sucks. And
does he actually
he's 5 mil, and I'll have him in my team. He's pretty shit, attacking-wise, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's not going to get any goals.
One thing I've actually been thinking about is Kyle Walker almost like a trap? I mean, sure, he's going to be like decent and, City keep a lot of clean sheets, but... when you think of their first few, fixtures, where's... I should really have had the FPL uploaded already. Come on. West Ham, Bournemouth, Newcastle. Oh, I mean, I guess after West Ham they do have very good fixtures. But...
Yeah.
And what do you reckon their chances of signing a full-back are... because obviously the window hasn't closed yet.
They lost out on...
Yeah?
They lost out on Cucurella.
No, I'm alright, thanks.
Sure?
Yeah.
Who are you on with?
I'm on a podcast.
Who are you fellas?
No. It's kind of live, so can you please?
I'm going to say, hey!
Uh,
Kind of live, I don't care.
yeah. But,
Oh,
right.
Dan, you can't hear me. You're in a headset.
This is really. this is like the worst podcast we've done. It's just awful.
This is only the second one we've done. I mean, you're just saying that it's worse than the first one.
The first one.
I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
I actually think it's. All right. Well, anyway.
So
yeah, I showed you where the mute button was. Everyone has seen that you know where the mute button is. But the moment you heard Dan, you just went, yeah, rather than first thought, oh, maybe I shouldn't mute myself.
Yes.
He gave you a heads up, the man. He literally said that he was coming.
to be fair, strategy for the future, I'll mute, and if you don't hear me talking, just make content so then people can hear you.
God, yeah, this is a shambles without three of us, isn't it? Well, anyway. Right. What else have I got here? Yeah, I also don't think Jack Grealish is a pretty good option. I think he's sucking hard right now. He did look he looked like a viable FPL option at one point, but maybe he just needs time to click with Haaland. Right now is not the time, and I'd avoid him.
So just to clarify,
I can see that you're already distracted.
Who's that you avoided? Oh no, I was looking at the lineup that day. So
Oh, great. Yeah, revision wasn't done. I can see.
Well, because this podcast is so professional. But anyway,
I'm avoiding Grealish. I'm avoiding. Currently, when I first came out, I'll tell you my initial thoughts. I first came out of that game, and I said I do not want a City attacker right now. They look slow. They look
and there's
shit.
the pet roulette.
They just look.
It's a headache. It's a nightmare. Yeah. So,
yeah, I would have kind of liked Grealish or Mahrez to just do something well and know that they were nailed, but now they're not nailed. Foden and Alvarez came on, and either one of them could take their spots.
Yeah, Foden, Grealish, Mahrez, Alvarez. It's too much of a headache. That's what Pep does to us. He gives us a headache, a bad time.
But there's a benefit that came out of all of this.
What?
We saw Erling Haaland get full 90 minutes. He could have been subbed off at any point, but he wasn't. Pep trusted him for the full 90, so he must have match fitness, and that just makes me think he'll start the next one. I think he'll be hungry to get another goal. Well, not another goal, he hasn't scored, except from pre-season, but...
you know what we should really do now? We should really get up our teams so then we can discuss players as we're looking at our drafts. Do you not reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Right. So, Team 1 for us. Oh, okay, here we are.
It's you.
It is me, BV. I've got my team up first. So, in goal, I've gone for Aaron Ramsdale. My defensive four is Cancelo, Trent, Robertson, Doherty. My midfield four is Leon Bailly, Salah, Martinelli, Kulusevski, and my front two is Haaland and Jesus. Then I think the bench will pretty much be the same for all the good guys except from one draft. And I think we've all gone for basically the standard template bench of Ward, Neco Williams, Andreas Pereira, and Archer or Greenwood, basically fodders.
And for those of you who might not know...
So, Dan, what do you want to know about my draft?
First of all, I feel like we should tell, just for the viewers who might not know, Ward is there because Schmeichel's actually left. He's gone to Nice. You probably know it, but, not surprisingly, not everyone did or does, a.k.a. me. But, yeah, so that's why Ward's there. Now, about your team, first of all, what I want to know is what are the differences from this one to on our first podcast? So what have been the changes? Because we should talk about them first.
I think on the first podcast I didn't have Aaron Ramsdale
Love the
in
word
goal.
think.
My goalie has sort of moved. Yeah. I mean, I can't comment completely. I don't remember what all happened. I actually think I went into the first podcast with 3
Oh
drafts. So
shit! Yeah.
are you talking about draft 1, 2, or 3? I mean, I presume there's similarities in some of them. But yes, I've gone for Aaron Ramsdale in goal. I've done that because I just think Arsenal are pretty good. So I'm going to triple up on them. And I just thought, realistically, I'm going to gamble on Ramsdale. I just have something about him. I liked him last season. He obviously went through a bit of a minor slump in form, and his save percentage went down. But there was sort of injuries in front of him with Tierney out, and whoever their right back was out. Who played it? Oh, Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu's still out, but he's potentially returning. But now they've got Saliba, and they can play Ben White at right back, and they've just got more defensive cover.
And with
I feel,
the fixtures,
with Zinchenko signing as well. So I feel like
if we were just to read out Arsenal's first 5 fixtures, just to give the viewers, just to refresh, they've got Crystal Palace away, Leicester at home, Bournemouth away, Fulham at home, and Villa at home. So they've got 2 promoted sides. Crystal Palace away, which I guess isn't necessarily the best, but certainly not bad. And then Villa at home, which I guess is kind of okay. And then Leicester at home, but Leicester can be quite leaky. And they've lost Schmeichel too, so it's good to okay. So decent one.
Yeah, I'd say they've got good fixtures. And what I would say actually about those tougher games, because I'd say Villa is a tougher game, I'd say Leicester is a tougher
Palace
game,
away,
Palace is a tougher game. Either of those 3.
To be fair, I've actually
Palace away is I actually think.
To be fair, I actually really fear Crystal Palace away because we'll get into my team. So I also have some Arsenal attackers, just like you. Crystal Palace away, I'm actually kind of scared because I would not be surprised if Arsenal didn't score a goal, which with my team would be a bit of a shame. But it's the sort of I could either see it ending 1-1 or even lose. I could even see Arsenal losing 1-0 to Crystal Palace. It really would not surprise me.
I mean they could just be an Arsenal move, wouldn't it? But I think what could happen is, I think the thing with Crystal Palace is they're likely to have a lot of shots, and I know that doesn't sound good when you're talking about why I'm picking a keeper. But I actually think those shots will turn to save points, and even if Arsenal lose the clean sheet, I think Ramsdale will pick up save points. And if, miraculously, they don't lose the clean sheet, then I'm looking at like a 10-pointer right there. Because of save points, Ramsdale's good on the bonus. I just think he's one of the best assets in the Arsenal defence on bonus. It's like last season he picked up a lot of double-digit hauls just out of sort of nowhere, just from like a 1-0 win.
He actually picked up in his past. In his past and only 3 seasons of Arsenal, or certainly in the Premier League, he's got 13 bonus points, then 12 bonus points, and he got 14 bonus points last season. So yeah, you're right. He just pick up some bonus. And to be fair, one point I'd like to make, with keepers, I feel like you can look at their fixtures, and some people will try and rotate, so potentially have 2 keepers, which they rotate to just get the good fixtures. But it's a bit of a risky strategy. I definitely feel like with a keeper, it is quite good to set him to get, I think, too, because even on some of these harder fixtures, sure, they could just go on to lose the clean sheet as you'd expect them to, but they can still get save points, so, maybe they end up with a 3-pointer or even a 4-pointer if they made a load of saves. But then also, if they somehow do keep that clean sheet, like if they've got 1 save, if they've made 6 saves, they get 2 save points, puts them on to 4, and then they get 3 bonus points, let's say, that's 7, plus the clean sheet of 4, and they've got 10, 11 points, and, that's a good haul. So then,
exactly.
If you were to try and rotate between keepers,
especially
you'd lose that, because...
So that's sort of the reason. It's sort of the reason why I'm avoiding Edison. I think Edison is just likely to get me 6.
Oh yeah, to be fair,
that's it. And now, especially if Kyle Walker's become an asset, I'm not really interested in. I can get the 6 from Walker. I don't need to spend the extra 0.5.
Well, yeah, because if you look at their track record too, I mean, obviously the only problem with Liverpool is it's a valuable third Liverpool slot. Because if Liverpool wasn't so valuable, Alisson is comfortably a better FPL asset than Edison. But obviously Liverpool spots are quite valuable. So, but yeah,
Yeah, but when you think about it, Allison is the cheapest Liverpool defensive option, and he's the most nailed at 5.5 mil. So I would say Allison isn't a bad.
Oh no, yeah,
option,
I don't
though.
think he's a bad option.
He dominates over Edison. But I do think when we talk about Liverpool, well, I've obviously got triple Liverpool, and the reason I've gone for the three that I've gone for is that I think these are comfortably the top three Liverpool assets. Trent and Salah is obviously nailed in everyone's team, and basically the question is who is going to be the third spot. And I think it has to go to Robertson from just how advanced he was at the Community Shield on the weekend. He just sold me himself. He just was darting forward at any opportunity. I mean, I don't think attacking-wise he's
to be fair,
on
actually,
quality and output. But
because I've also got Robertson too, and one of the things, like I've got the same Liverpool trio as you, of Trent, Salah and Robertson. But if apparently second half of last season, like Robertson outscored Trent, I think second half of last season. He actually, his returns and stuff were very good. So, especially with what you were saying about the Community Shield too, I do think he looks.
He did overperform on XG though. That's the only concern, is that he wasn't expected to outperform Trent. It was just that Trent slightly underperformed and Robertson massively overperformed. So I would say I'm not expecting miles from Robertson, but what I do think is that it's just a nice. I'm accepting the nice 6 points he's going to get me. It's like if Diaz, gets a goal each game. It's probably unlikely to happen, but I back that. I don't. So what? Let me clarify. Actually, I back that. I don't think Diaz is going to get 20 goals a season, but I do reckon that Liverpool could get close to 20 clean sheets, and I think Robertson will be in most of them at the back line, as long as he doesn't get injured. So I'm happy to spend the 7 mil on Robertson.
So what do you think of Robertson? Just looking about it for.
Or 9
if you were to look at Robertson in a vacuum, how do you assess him being like value for money for the 7 million as just an asset for that price?
A vacuum? You mean an
isolation? Just in isolation. Not
who says a vacuum?
In isolation.
Where have you got vacuum from? I think Robertson is by far the best third Liverpool spot usage. I just think, so I don't think he's better than Trent, and I don't think he's better than Salah. I was in. Do not think you can have Robertson to replace Trent, but I just think he's good for the money. I think 7 mil is fine for Robertson.
So what are your other changes from your last team in this draft?
So I actually think most of my spine, I'd say this sort of spine has stayed the same. I think the only differences I've got are with Martinelli, Doherty and Kulusevski. So I think that's where my sort of 3 spots of negotiation have opened up recently. I think Bailly's nailed. He's got me that spot now. He's looking really good in pre-season. We spoke about him in the last pod, and I think he's guaranteed to be in my team for this opening fixture against what looks like a poor Bournemouth team. So it's basically down to these 3. I think I did have Neto in here before, where Martinelli is. I did have Saka where Kulusevski is, and then I have roughly 5.5 mil left for that last defender spot. So it could easily be Neto, Saka and Perisic. But I think what's happened is I've decided that I'm going to just go with Haaland to start the game. I'm not going to go for Kane and then switch him out.
How come you're going for Haaland?
I just think I'm going to go with Haaland. I just think if he can rack up 1.5 XG against Liverpool, what can he do against anyone else? And I just think the opening day of the season, it just screams a Haaland game. Whereas obviously Kane against Southampton is obviously a good game as well. And Southampton have conceded 9 before to many teams. But I just sort of... West Ham is a tough fixture, and that does put me off. If it was anyone else of their later fixtures, I wouldn't be questioning it. But the fact they got 90, and I know I'm going to want him for Bournemouth in game week 2, I may as well just have him now, and then roll my transfer into the next week. And if I go for Kulusevski, I cover that Spurs attack anyway. And it means that I don't have to take out a Kane for a Haaland the next week, and I wouldn't have the Kulusevski. So as in, if I had Kane, I wouldn't have Kulusevski. Kulusevski's only there to cover that Spurs attack. And I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that. I think Kulusevski's a good option. He's guaranteed to play 90 because... Well, not 90, but to start and play because Richarlison is banned from suspension.
Why? How long?
So,
I know he's going to start against Southampton. Missing.
Only the first game, which could be a concern for if he starts the second one. But I just think that front three is nailed. Kulusevski, Son, and Kane. They're Conte's trusted boys. I think it'll take a while for Richarlison to ruffle any feathers. Maybe when we see European football, but not yet. Anyway, then moving on from that, I think Martinelli, because I know we had this big debate last pod around whether Saka is the asset that everyone needs to have. And you guys did sort of persuade me at the time. But then I've just sort of gone back on it, and I've just thought, when I look at Martinelli versus Saka, they're both pretty much the same asset in my eyes. But Martinelli is 6 million, so he's 2 million cheaper than Saka. And I know Saka will. I know Saka will get more goals than Martinelli, but I think with Jesus there, Jesus will take some goals away from Saka. And I just feel like Martinelli might keep growing this season, and I think this is the season that Martinelli's going to sort of
What if you were to compare Saka to Kulusevski? Because they're both 8 mil.
Saka to Kulusevski, I think Saka's the better option there. But I do not want to triple up on the attack of Arsenal. I think that's just too many eggs in one basket. Yeah, and obviously the issue is, I know it's point maximisation, but if I was to go for Saka over Kulusevski, it would then mean I go for Neto over Martinelli, and I just think Martinelli could cover Saka, so why would I... It's then basically Neto versus Kulusevski, and that's just miles to Kulusevski. So, yeah, I just think as a pair they're fine. Obviously, if I did go Neto, I would have the 0.5 million, which I'd use to then upgrade Doherty to Perisic. I think Perisic will be a really good option this season. But
what's changed your mind? Because I feel like you weren't so pro Perisic being a good option. What's changed your mind?
I saw the highlights of Spurs versus Roma. Yeah, Spurs versus Roma, and Perisic was just bombing it forward. Doherty also, but I just think Perisic is a goal-scoring winger. Like he's played in World Cup finals against England. He's played in Champions League. Doherty he's come from previous club Wolves, and he's been with them since like League 2 or something like that. So as in, I'm not saying that's a...
Because I've actually got...
Doherty, but I'm just saying they're miles apart in the type of player they are.
Because I know it's meant to be finalised drafts and all that, but I've actually, got an idea or two potentially I could change my final draft. But yeah, we'll get on to that in due course.
God, you really are a disappointment on this pod. So yeah, no, that is basically my team. I think we've sort of gone through. I think Doherty's a really good option. Obviously, Dan, Joe made the post about how I feel strongly
actually,
about Doherty on the
Joe
Good Guys
has
Instagram.
Sent something into the chat. before because he said, Burnham, we're forgetting more at right wing back for Spurs, by the way. What do you have to say to that?
I don't think Mora will play right wing back for Spurs. I don't think he'll start a game. I think he'll come on and maybe... I think what we'll see Doherty and Perisic start. Depending on the score, if they're defending like a 1-0 lead, Emerson Royale will come on for Doherty. If they're maybe chasing something and they need more, and Doherty's got tired legs, then I can see Lucas Moura coming on. If they're like 1-1 or even behind. But I do not think... I also think Doherty might lose his spot to Spence later on in the season. To be honest, the more I say it, Doherty and Kulusevski aren't ideal, but I would prefer Perisic where Doherty is. But then it's sort of... I don't like having Neto in my team,
How come?
in all honesty. I'd rather have... Like, I've literally got 10 out of the top 6 right there. I just don't really rate Wolves' attack at all. I can't really be bothered to watch them do what they do. We've got to remember they were terrible.
Shall we
last
now
season.
slide the debate
I
on
can't be
for looking
bothered
at my team?
to
Because then I
mess
feel like there's some overlap in terms of these debates. Because obviously there's players
Yeah.
I've got that you have, or players I've got instead of players you've got. So
here is your team, Dan. Do you want to read it out
so
for the podcast listeners?
in between the sticks, I've got Dean Henderson. I've got a back four of Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Cancelo and Trippier. I've got a midfield four of Martinelli, Salah, Saka and Neto. And I've got Jesus and Kane up top with a bench of Olsen, who will get changed to Ward, but 4 million keepers, you know what I mean. Neco Williams, Andreas and Archer. Now, I guess the place to start, one thing I'm thinking about, how do you compare Neto and Bailey, Leon Bailey?
This is tough. So they've both got an opening good fixture. What's Wolves' opening 5 fixtures, by the way? I just think Neto is obviously more nailed long term. He's going to lead the line for Wolves, especially with him and his injury.
The first 5
I've not got
fixtures
many
for
other options.
Wolves are Leeds away, Fulham at home, Tottenham away, Newcastle at home and Bournemouth away. So they play... Because
That's actually quite
currently,
good.
I think I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
Right, what I've got in my team, I feel like, is quite a lot of... I don't have to really worry too much, touch wood, about rotation, because the idea I had before is that I could potentially go Neto to Bailey and go Trippier up to Perisic. But with both of those options, Neto and Trippier are both a lot more nailed. Now, I have been an admirer of Perisic all summer transfer window. Like, I think he'll be great. But, the only thing is about that rotation or getting subbed off before 60 minutes that's made me, think twice, if you will.
I don't know. I don't know if he will get subbed off before 60 minutes. I think, because if anything, if he's lacking fitness or anything like that, he has to play to get that fitness. He has to play to get match fitness, and I don't think Conte will.
Because to be fair, the thing
particularly
is,
sub
there's
him
not
off early to protect him. Especially there's 8 days between their opening fixture and the second game against Chelsea.
Well, yeah, I guess
he's
you've
got
got to
enough
consider
recovery
there's not
time.
much.
So I
There's
actually
not
think
much fixture
against
congestion at
Southampton.
the start of the season. Because if we look at Bailey,
No.
Leon Bailey, because his fixtures, because I think his tail off after the first, not fucking Bailly from Man United. Where's Bailey? There he is, player information. Cool. Yeah, because after the first 3 game weeks, he's got Bournemouth away, Everton at home, then Crystal Palace away, and then it tails off with West Ham, Arsenal, City, Leicester, and, not great. Crystal Palace away could be a tough game, but that Bournemouth away and Everton at home are both prime.
See, I think basically, I know it's not good to book in a transfer, but I don't think I'll play Bailly after game week 3.
But who
I think
could you
at
go
game
down
week
to?
3,
Or trade for, because it's a 5 mil slot.
I know. This is a dilemma that I've got. I think maybe at that point, yeah, it is a bit of a pain. I think maybe I'd go down to a 4.5 midfielder and then upgrade Neco Williams to a 4.5 defender, maybe Dallo, if I know that he's nailed, or I'll just pick an interesting punt. I mean, someone will discover themselves. Someone will come out there and something will happen. Maybe someone will get injured and I think there's a good option or whatever. I just think Leon Bailly, it will just give me something, man. I just think people will flood to him after he hauls against Bournemouth, and he could just be this season's Ben Rama.
Because those first 2 fixtures, he could get 2 double-digit hauls. I am now seriously thinking, because there's a lot more potential upside to Perisic than Trippier. I think Trippier will be solid, but I think Perisic could be explosive and exciting, if you get me.
I mean, but why don't you...
Because, I could just do that.
Yeah, why don't you test the waters with Perisic and Bailly at the beginning, and then later on maybe then switch back to Trippier and Neto after Trippier plays Man City in game week 3 or something?
Yeah. I mean, that's like one kind of
Obviously,
vague,
we've
'cause
got
it's
the
either,
early wild card. I think there's one point I want to talk about with your squad is you've got triple
now this is
Arsenal
actually,
attack. You're not worried about that?
I am kind of
all
worried
your eggs
about
in one
it,
basket?
But here's the thing that I've been thinking about. Now, do I want to triple up on Arsenal? Probably not. But I've kind of looked at each Arsenal player in this team as an isolated asset. So I've not looked at them as tripling up. I've looked at Jesus in a vacuum for the money. Well, he's heavily owned. He could be explosive, good pre-season. They're number 9, worth 8 mil. Okay. I've looked at Saka for 8 mil in a vacuum. In isolation. And I thought, okay, 8 mil, and I'm a big believer in Saka. I'll die for... I won't die for Saka, but my heart's on the hill of Saka. Like, I had him for much of last season before he was cool. He's the jewel in the crown. Young player, really good, really great player. Can score goals, get assists.
Honestly, I feel like we need like a counter on how many times you're gonna say that you had Saka
and
before
now
he was
Martinelli, the new kid on the block, 6 mil. 6 mil's a very interesting price. It's a very good price, is what I mean. And if he's value for money, because actually, Martinelli came in my team because he's one of the new boys that came in, so it's worth discussing him. Because I used to have Leon Bailey in that slot, but I also had Undav for the Brighton striker on my bench. But I decided with Andreas and Neco Williams. For fuck's sake. I just...
at least you found the mute button there. I mean, there was no heads up
I
or
decided
anything like that.
God, now I'm thrown off course. What the hell did I decide? Wait, one second.
You changed Undav. You changed Undav to Archer.
I
You decided that Neco Williams and Andreas
could cover my bench, so I didn't need Undav. I could suck that 1 million out, and then I upgraded Leon Bailey to Martinelli, because Martinelli is comfortably a better asset than Leon Bailey. I mean, he's playing for a good side. He'll do bits, So, with the Arsenal assets, I am, especially Crystal Palace away, because I look at this team and I see a 1-1, or I see a 1-0 defeat even, and I'm like, that's going to hurt my game week 1 score quite a lot. So I can see what you mean about the all eggs in one basket. So I guess that is a risk. But I'm looking at them individually as assets, and I'm thinking, you know, so.
Yeah, but I just think I fear the triple up because
Yeah.
they're only going to score so many goals, and like, yeah, you want goals from elsewhere. Like in a 2-0 victory, they're not all going to be on the score sheet. What you need 3 goals for the potential of each of them to return a goal.
But what it
Otherwise,
does
you're just
mean
hoping
on the
for some of
bright
them to
side
get
is that if
assists.
Arsenal get a goal and I'm not getting points off of that goal, then what the hell has gone wrong? Like, I should get points off every Arsenal goal.
Yeah,
If not,
yeah, but as in,
if not 2 points.
you want to pick the best asset from each club. But I guess, yeah, you're picking the best asset at the price. Yeah, I don't know. I just think, yeah, you have potentially sold Neto to me by realising his fixtures, and the fact that Jimenez is also injured, which could be good and bad. But I just want to see how they're going to play. It could be that I move Doherty down to a 4.5 and move Pai up to Neto if it doesn't work,
to be
or
fair,
just play through with Neto. With
my
Pai,
one thing with
5 mil.
Martinelli is if he doesn't start, but I've actually got, especially with Trippier and Neto, because I've got them rather than, you know, Bailey and Perisic, I've got quite a lot of safety in my team, so pretty much a lot of my players, nearly all of them, are nailed. Yeah, so even if
Martinelli
he
will
doesn't,
start.
Neto Williams can come on.
Martinelli will start. He's nailed.
I mean, but to be...
Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah, and
Should we
just
go on
one
to Joe's
thing.
team?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I already discussed Kane in podcast 1. Just, you know, reliable, prem proven. Haaland could be explosive, but...
Yeah. Have you got any plan to go to Haaland? Any
might
plan, or are
think
you
on
going
the
to keep
fly,
Kane?
right, because I'll plan my
throughout?
transfers on the week, so it could be something I do. But... Well, yeah, it looks very tasty.
Bournemouth in
but
game week 2.
So I
for
probably would, but it depends.
Bournemouth
You know,
at
obviously,
home.
if Kane gets a hat trick and looks really fresh, you know, am I going to get rid of a player who just scored a hat trick for me? Maybe, maybe not. It depends what my.
But you'll have Kane against
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Chelsea
it depends.
and
Like,
Haaland
'cause
against
obviously I've
Bournemouth.
got 11 players in my starting 11. Like, if there's a fire I need to put out or another opportunity, you know, it depends. So I could easily do that, to be honest with you. Crystal Palace away does worry me, but
Cool.
yeah.
Right, next. So we've got Joe Cooper's team here. Sorry, I shouldn't have said Cooper. We've got Joe's team.
To be fair, it has been a shambolic 5 minutes.
We've got Joe's team.
Yeah.
God, no one's going to care. Literally, we've got
And if there's
2 or
still
3
here,
listeners, and there's 3 of us.
Wait, it's important. It's only
okay,
important
so
to
he's gone
stipulate
for
that this is his
Mendy
team
from
if he was
Chelsea
to
in goal.
bench boost, is it?
Why would you give that away before we've even read out his team? Right. We haven't even read the bench out. So he's got Mendy in goal. He's then got Trent, Doherty and James in defence. He's got Rodrigo, Neto, Salah, Martinelli in midfield. He's gone for Darwin, Núñez, Jesus and Kane up top, and then a bench of Ward, Bailey, Botman and Neco Williams. So yeah, like Dan already leaked, this is Joe's bench boost team. So he would bench boost with this team and then wild card out of it in game week 2. Let's just address the elephant in the room.
Yeah,
that is such an idiot.
This is our
move
first
if he does
reactions
it,
to this whole
honestly
thing he's got going on here. What do you think of that, though? A plan to set in stone a game week 2 wild card to just get rid of it, you know? I guess he must have heard we've got 3 wild cards, and, you know, if it's raining wild cards, you know, why not plan a game week 2 wild card? What do you have to say to that, BV?
Yeah, I mean, you can wildcard early, but don't wildcard in fucking game week 2, man. I mean, you can literally make a full-strength top 11 team, and he's gone for 2 Chelsea defenders, and I'm pretty sure in the last
I
pod
guess
we
he's
slagged off the Chelsea
I guess he's
defence
seeing
completely,
Arsenal,
and he's
Everton
ended up
away,
with 2 of them.
and thinking that who's going to concede against Everton away if you're Chelsea. I mean, he'd be really kicking himself. If Everton scored, he'd be
Chelsea
really
aren't that
kicking
good
himself.
against
Because this
Everton.
team, given that he'd have a bench boost and a wild card poured into just being able to make this Gameweek 1 team possible, for it not to work, it's a lot of eggs in one basket. Like, if you're using a wild card and a bench boost for this dream team, you're really good.
I honestly, I'm thinking that we're at 45 minutes. I'm not to disrespect the lad, but I just think it's a waste of our time if we spend any more time talking about
I
this.
actually kind of think it's good banter to just ignore it and just move on.
Yeah, let's just move on, because this is just stupid, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is stupid. I mean, if I had to give, I guess we'll talk about briefly. We'll literally just honestly, keep it short. Darwin Núñez, he did all right. He did all right in the Community Shield. I don't know if he will start against Fulham. Maybe if he does, great shout then. But I think Firmino might hold a spot, or Klopp could reward him. Honestly, don't know how it will go. It's 50-50. Minutes are up in the air there. Rodrigo for Leeds against Wolves. Rodrigo is a good asset. I don't think Bamford's back yet, so it's a good shout. But I just think it's just stupidity going into a bench boost and wildcard in the first. He's literally burning through 2 of his 3
to be fair,
chips.
I feel like a team you could make without having to wildcard.
Or 2 of his
I
4
don't know,
chips,
it doesn't it doesn't make me like cream myself or anything looking at this. It's not like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so he's literally pouring, like you said, 2 chips into this so that he can get double Chelsea defence against Everton.
He can get Darwin,
he can get
who's
Rodrigo
like his first
against
Premier
Wolves,
League game ever.
And that he can get Ward against Brentford and Bai against
And
Bournemouth
Botman's a centre-back
Botman against
too.
Nottingham Forest. It doesn't scream
Botman's not going to get
to me. Yeah, let's just move on. Let's just move on. Okay, so now, but to the real business. So Joe's real draft, the one which he will probably go through with rather than the crap we saw last slide, is Nick Pope in goal, Trent, Cancelo, Walker and Robertson in defence, Bai, Saka, Salah, Martinelli, Jesus and Haaland up top, and then basically the fodder bench. I mean, I presume he'll go Ward in goal rather than Steele. But yeah, so right, it's pretty similar to your team,
got a
actually.
triple up on Arsenal too.
Pretty similar to your team.
He's got Salah, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, Robertson, Cancelo and Trent.
He's got the triple up.
7 of my players. What he does have is he has Walker, because Walker isn't on either of our 2's teams. So I think that's an interesting thing to talk about, because obviously a lot of people will be seeing Walker. 5 mil, Cucurella's not going to Man City. So if you've got the starting right back for Man City, is it a no-brainer, or is there merit in not having Walker? Yeah, we did speak. We spoke about Walker.
We spoke about Walker, man. We spoke about Walker. You know my views on Walker. I think he'll churn out 6 points and 5.
Yeah.
But
yeah, to be fair, you
boring.
want excitement.
I don't care.
I want excitement.
Yeah. I'd rather take Doherty and risk the potential minutes lost, or the potential clean sheet wipeout. But in exchange, go for the fact that he could get a 15-pointer in a game. Walker, I will be shocked if Walker
What do you think about
manages
Walker
to get any
versus
attacking
Trippier?
returns in the first 5 games.
Because I've got Trippier, he's got Walker.
See, interestingly, I know because you're looking. Yeah, but you've got to remember that he's got Nick Pope in goal, so you're both covering the Newcastle defence. So actually, it's almost like Walker versus Dean Henderson. Which, when you put it like that, yeah, I do think Walker might outscore Trippier, to be honest, Dan. But also,
He has
we
a
don't know if Trippier
20%
just
free
curls
kick
in a free
conversion
kick or
rate,
two.
you know.
I think you've got excitement there. You've got excitement there with Trippier. I back it. Walker, on the other hand, dead. Nick Pope, yeah, fine. But what's he going to do when the games get tougher? Is he going to play Ward against Pope against City? I don't know. It's a decent team. I guess he's going from Haaland with a start, like me. I've actually talked myself out of Haaland, to be honest, and I might go Kane to start the game week. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I just feel like Kane against Southampton. I feel like I want to chase points early. I don't want to be behind the curve.
Because it's
So
West Ham
maybe I
away
go
too.
with
West Ham
Kane-
United away
Kane
is
at home against
fixture.
a Southampton. No, well, you got to remember, City drew there, didn't they? 2-2 at the end. Was it game week 37 or something like this? 36? They drew 2-2 at West Ham. And that was West Ham, towards the back end of the season. So it could be a tough game for them, but also it's Erling Haaland, man. There's obviously some sort of Bundesliga tax on his record, but he scored 49 goals in 50-something games.
Who do you reckon will score more goals this season?
Yeah, I just think maybe
Who do you
maybe I
reckon will
stick
score
with him
more
and I
goals
save.
this
I bank
season?
that transfer.
Kane,
That when
Haaland, and if so, do you reckon it'll be close?
I think Kane will outscore Erling Haaland in the Premier League. And I'm putting in the Premier League on there because I do think Haaland won't play every Premier League game, whereas I do think Harry Kane will play every Premier League game. I think Spurs might not make it to the later stages of the Champions League, and then maybe Kane is a shoe-in for Premier League games, whereas I think City, the schedule could get tight there, and Haaland sits out of a few Prem games, and Alvarez or someone else fills in at number 9. They obviously won. They won the league last year without a number 9, so I don't think they're worried about benching Haaland. But yeah, those are my thoughts. What do you? Does this draft? Do you prefer this draft?
Well, the
to your
big
own
difference
draft,
is I'll certainly game week 1 because I can get rid of Kane. Sure, it's burning a transfer, but Kane Southampton at home, that's a very attractive fixture. So, there's. I back Kane over Haaland. He's got Jesus, the Saka, Salah and Martinelli. I quite like that he's also gone with the Arsenal triple up because I kind of unintentionally stumbled into the Arsenal triple up because I just looked at them in isolation and now I've suddenly got 3 of them. Neto over Bailey. Bailey could be exciting the first couple games, but I definitely think Neto you can keep for a handful of game weeks with a lot more confidence, I reckon. He's gone Bailey and Pope, which is the same price as Neto and Henderson. If I was comparing Henderson to Pope, Henderson's fixtures could be okay, but I feel like I'm not going to overthink it. I've already confidently stated I back Henderson for the season, and I'm just going to set and forget him. So I'm just going to stick to that and not overthink the micro. And then he's got Trent, Cancelo and Robertson, which is the same as me, and then it's just comparing Trippier to Walker. But then that's the thing, Walker's got West Ham away, and then he's got some easy fixtures. But Trippier, if I just get my phone to just see his first 2 on settlers. Trippier, there he is. He's got Man City at home game week 3, but his first 2 fixtures on Nottingham Forest at home and Brighton away could easily be clean sheets, both of them. And then who knows, maybe even gets an assist.
To be honest, would you consider moving Trippier on come game week 3, as in play him against Nottingham Forest, play him against Brighton, and then decide, okay, Maybe I'll use my 5 mil elsewhere.
I mean, it's a shout. I mean, one player that's also... What do you think about Cash? Matty Cash. Oh, yeah.
I come on,
Yeah,
man.
and you
At 5
won't
mil,
transfer
there's
to
way
him
better
anyway,
options.
'cause
I don't think
it's Aston
we
Villa
waste our
after
time with
fixtures
anyone
turn.
outside the top 6.
I mean, Perisic is intrigued me all pre-season.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the thought of just going from Neto to Bailey and then just whacking in a Perisic. But I feel like Trippier's a safe, solid option. You know, Neto and Trippier are pretty.
I think Doherty obviously has the issue of, like Joe said, there's literally 4 players that can play at right wing back. Whereas when you look at that left hand side, Conte has brought in Perisic to play there. Reguilon's gone. So it's literally just Perisic or Sessegnon. And I don't
Because
think
that's the
Conte
thing.
will
Yeah.
start Sessegnon and ever bring on Perisic. I think it's more likely to be Perisic will start
Because
every
you know what
game,
I could do?
and
I could actually
Sessegnon will
lean
come on
into
for him
that.
at a certain
You know
point.
how you were saying about really jumping on points? I think the thought of going Kane first, getting that Southampton at home, and then... Because Leon Bailey, he's had a good pre-season, as you said, and Bournemouth away and Everton at home, explosive. So if I was to get rid of Trippier and get rid of Neto and then put on Bailey and then Perisic... Like, that could be explosive, you know, first couple game weeks. Because, you know, Spurs have got good fixtures too. Like, if we just look at Spurs is...
I also think I'm not adverse to taking points hits in the first few weeks, because points hits come with another thing. They come with you're jumping on a player which you'll preferably be ahead of the curve on, whoever comes out and is the main asset to get. And also, that player will probably be jumped on by a lot of other people in the next week. By you taking the hit, you get there a week earlier, you get whatever points you get.
One thing
and
I'd
then
also
you get
say
the
about
potential
hits,
price rises, and you make growth
because I'll
in
tell
your
you another
squad
thing about
value,
hits,
and later
because
on that
I
comes
actually,
in.
last season, I took hits a good number of times. In some of my best work, where I was getting green arrows, actually came off the back of hit after hit. Now, because another thing to compare when you're taking a hit is it's not just comparing it for that one game week, because then you've already paid your dues for that transfer. Like, if you were already planning on getting one transfer one week, then another, and you already had transfers like blocking you up for 3 game weeks, and you were thinking about taking a hit at the first of those 3 game weeks, you're not comparing that -4 points for just that one game week. Because if you wanted him in any of those few weeks that you're already going to use your free transfer, you'd have to take a hit anyway. So sometimes if you've got a busy transfer schedule, it's not like a one-off game week that you're, you know, paying that hit for. It could end up being weeks of transfers, if you get me. If you keep...
I'm not really against chasing mini hauls right now, because we've got a wild card.
It is important to
We've got
say,
more
because
flexibility
obviously
to-
last time we were
to
speaking on
reverse
the first
anything.
podcast, Perisic hadn't really played in pre-season, but then he played against Roma, and so now he's got some match fitness, and you'd probably back him to play. I mean, Conte prefers him to Sessegnon. Like, he's definitely first choice.
Yeah. But, I mean, there is obviously that slight chance that he doesn't start. I know some people suspect that... I mean, there's other people that say he's guaranteed nailed for the first game week, and there's some people that say, if I had him, I might not play him, I might even bench him. I know so far from the wire is thinking along those lines. I just think... Obviously, take it with a pinch of salt, but yeah, I think... If it was me, I'd presume Perisic starts. It's the first home game of the season. They're basically their biggest signing this summer. He's got to be in there. All the fans are excited. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
shall we
it
wrap
seems
up there,
good.
Dan? We've just reached the hour mark.
So yeah, this has been the second
Yeah.
podcast. You know, and hopefully you'll actually be seeing
Successful
these on
pod.
YouTube someday. Oh well, I'll take responsibility for getting this on YouTube.
They'll probably all be uploaded at the same time.
You might even be
This one. Well, no.
okay, and then
I'll do the
and
first
actually
two.
get the job done.
You might even be what?
Yeah,
Go on, we'll try and get
That's
the
a
job
good
done
idea.
directly after this.
Okay. Goodbye. Thank
Right,
you
I'm
you
gonna
so
stop
much.
recording.
I really appreciate
Goodbye,
it.
guys.
See ya.
Thank you for listening. Bye bye.